In for repair today, I've got a bucket sized dent on a 72 plate Nissan Qashqai rear quarter panel. Let's have a look. Here we go. There's the dent, size of a bucket. There we go, look. So it's on a bit of a body line there, maybe just pushed it up on a secondary body line. Okay, so there, not this big. Look from the other direction, yeah, it's quite badly hit on that body line, but not a problem. To be fair, it looks a lot worse than what it is, and because this vehicle belongs to a returning customer of mine, I'm going to look after him. So there's many ways to skin a cat. The poor cat. I could use lateral tension, so putting glue either side and stretching that dent out, or I could simply put some cold glue right onto that bottom edge, the bottom body line, and give it a very careful pull, and I reckon we'll be surprised and a lot of this will just pop out. Let's have a go. Okay, let me explain lateral tension for those people that don't know. So basically we're pulling laterally like that, so we're pulling side to side. There's a lot of different types of lateral tension devices we can use, but just to keep it simple, using these straps and a puller. Okay, so we glue one strap or tab to one side and then another on the opposite side, and then using, so these are stuck like that, we attach a puller, lots of different pullers out there, attach a puller on there, these go onto the straps, and then using the drill, we drill that out, it stretches the panel in the centre of the dent, and then it pops out. Simple as that. The other option and the other method, and the one I am going to use, is to use a cold glue. So we'll warm this up. I know it's called cold glue, but it needs a little bit of warmth because at the moment it is not sticky. Put a little bit of warmth in there, this goes absolutely sticky as hell. Okay, and I am going to pop it onto the body line like that, get it really stuck and secure, and then pull it outwards. And yeah, like I say, I think we're going to be quite amazed at how much this pulls out in a single pull. So with any kind of glue pulling, you need to prep the surface first. So using a brand new cloth and 99% isopropyl. This just gets rid of any polishers or waxes or anything like that. It's just going to stop the glue from sticking. There we go. And then just need to burn off a bit of the residue with a heat gun, and obviously put a bit of heat into the panel and put a bit of heat into this cold glue, and we'll see in a second. Not sticky now, will be in a second. There you go, nice and sticky now. Here we go. Right onto that body line, give it a little wiggle like that. We're ready. Ta-da! Look at this, I'm left with just a bit bigger than my thumb, so a thumb size body line dent. So I'm gonna start to glue pull this with a hot glue, and then there's just a little soft dent around here. Just needs a tiny tap on the top, and then a little bit of maybe even cold glue again. Just need to tap the top first and then go back on with, like I said, the cold glue, and maybe give it a little tap around here as well, because its lines go tighter there, so it means there's still a little bit of distortion. The same goes for there. Yeah, just wait for the old glue to get ready and be warmed up. Check to see if it's ready to pull. Yep, the glue doesn't stick to my glove, so it's ready to pull. So that's how I'm going to fix this bodyline dent. I'm going to do this many times over until I can lift the damage up, and then using hammer and knockdown I can blend the high areas back into its former shape. So here we go. I need to be a little more accurate now. With the slide hammer, you will pull in a lot of the metal, a lot of the panel in one go. With a mini lifter, I'm going to be more precise. So now that this tab is set, it's not sticking to my glove. Some light tweaks with the mini lifter. And then the isopropyl over the top. Let that debond the glue. Bit of pressure on the tab. Come off. There we go. Pulled it all nice and precise. I'm going to use this tab again. See the low there, that's the line. I'm going to follow that with the tab, and then again let that set. I've noticed there's a bit of a high here as well, so again, from pulling with a slide hammer like this, a lot of it's flexing. Sometimes it can distort other areas of the panel, and I reckon that is part of it. Where is, aha, it is there. Just picked a larger tab because there is a soft low around here, and plonk it on there like that. And then going back to the slide hammer, I'm only going to go steady. I think that'll do. Pulling away from the panel, let that isopropyl do its job. Pulling away from the panel. There we go. Perfect. Just needs knocking down now. A few tiny micro lows there. But apart from that, and a tiny little bit on the line, I'm pretty much there. Okay, I'm happy with this area, the smaller, well, the body line dents. So just move this out the way, get the inspection board. Okay, I'm happy with that for now. And the next dent is this one, just underneath the top body line. So I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I'll give it a light tap on above the body line because there is a slight, ever so slight bow there, and then cold glue first and then tap it. Whoops. A bit too hard. Make sure that does not come off there. Excellent. Yeah, so I was a little bit rough there, pulled it out a bit further than what I'd like it to be, but not a problem. I can now knock it down with my blunt nose knocked down very carefully. Just knock it down a little bit again, and going too hard. This metal is seriously thin. Let's have a look at the top where the body line is. It is very, very slightly rolled over around here. I'll have to look at it from two different angles because it could be the shape of the panel. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be repaired in literally a couple of minutes. Don't need a lot because, as I said, this steel is very, very, very thin, so it's moving very easily, too easily. I'm using a paddle because if I was to just use the hammer, it means I'm going to make all little hammer marks. By using this rubber plastic spatula, it can distribute the hammer stripes, so we're not putting those little dot marks in. When I'm tapping this area down, this is likely to come out as well, so I'm going to get this looking nice and then go back onto this bit. Now that this top crown has been pushed down, I can go back into the meat of the panel, and I can see there's a few little wiggles here, there and everywhere. A tiny amount needs pulling out on that dent, but yeah, realistically it's just a panel that's a bit wavy now, so just needs a lot of blending in just to smooth that panel out. There's one there, there's one there, there's one here, one there. So it's not a problem to just carefully tweak these out. I think I'm about done. Let me have a look with an actual reflection. Yeah, very happy with that. So this has taken me a couple of hours to repair. No filler, no paintwork, just paintless dent removal. Let me show you the finished results, and yeah, there you go.